Okay, back in 1976, my husband at that time got a job in Casper, so I quit my job at UW in Laramie, and I had to go through an exit interview with the Director of Human Resources. And I was in that interview, and he said, "Renee, there is a job opening with UW in Casper. It's the same classification of what you are now. I think you should go interview for that position." And he directed me up to Casper College and Pete Simpson. And I came in and interviewed, and I only missed 3 weeks of work with the university. I was right back on their payroll. I didn't have to do too many other job interviews. And, Pete was just a hoot to work with his sense of humor, and he knows everyone in the state. He just knows everyone. And the office was always busy with different Casper College people stopping by to have coffee with him. And every morning I made an urn full of coffee. And sometimes by noon we had gone through that 30 cups of coffee, and I'd have to do another one because so many people would stop by. But, he just had a great personality, and people at Casper College loved him. And he was with Casper College. Well, he taught history for Casper College. And then, whether it was the Casper College administration or whoever recommended Pete to take the coordinator position, he was there 1 year, but it was fun. Right. And we got a start. My first office. Yeah. Okay. It was a classroom, and we had black bookcases separating the room into half. And Pete had the back half, I had the front half, with a place for people to sit, a little reception area. Yeah. And we just talk over the bookshelves. Second year, we ordered more bookshelves and added more desks. But the very first day that Pete and I walked into that room, there was no furniture. Oh. We didn't have paper, pencil, or anything, and we became scavengers. It was to bring more educational opportunities to Natrona County for those people who were unable to travel to Laramie to finish a degree that they may have started 10, 20 years ago, and life happened. And then they wanted to finish degrees, and there was a pretty good need for it. And students have always been the top priority, and their needs. Every student is different. Yes. They have different needs, and there isn't one cookie cutter answer for each individual problem. You have to be knowledgeable about all the ins and outs in order to help those students. Yeah. I had opportunities where I could leave the university, but I couldn't leave the students. They were just so much a part of my family that, I would watch them come in, and they would say, "I don't think I can do this." Being there to tell them, yes, you can, and watch them graduate. The oldest person I remember during my time walking across the commencement stage was 72 years old, and she was just a wonderful woman. And, you know, she just got to the age, she said, I need to do something more with my life while I'm still here. We started out with 3 degree programs out of the College of Arts and Sciences. One was social sciences, the other was natural science mathematics, and the third one was humanities fine arts. Those were distributed degrees over those 3 areas so that students that had credits from various different degree programs, when they got their first 2 years of college, could transfer those in and hopefully get them closer to a 4-year degree. UW Casper began during the boom, so there were a lot of people here. There was a lot of need for additional workers and workers that held bachelor's degrees. And, you know, a lot of students wanted biology as a degree. So eventually we migrated years down the road and added on the biology degree. But it gave us a good starting. Okay, Pete taught a history class. Gail Zimmerman taught a class. Taunton Clifford taught, and Pat Boyer taught a social work class. Celeste Cogan and Lynn Cheney. You know, sometimes when we were over in the Wilson building, you'd have to go perform some maintenance on the boiler system. One of my first duties every day over there was to go out and raise the flags. We had to do that. And then at night, of course, bring them down and fold them properly. So, you know, you just took on whatever needed to be done. And, you know, if we had an order of equipment come in, we'd sit down on the floor and we bring our tools from home and put it together. The faculty back then, we had 6 faculty in what had once been a classroom. It was divided with bookcases. There was a telephone at each end of the room. There was community telephones. We didn't have intercoms or anything. And it worked, and everyone became real close-knit. We became a part of the outreach school, and we started bringing in the audio courses. And we were over in the administration building when we started bringing in audio course. And then we started with video courses. And it was much later that we started with online courses. In the early years when we were over in the Wilson building, in order to have enough faculty to teach all the classes needed, once or twice a week, we would fly faculty from Laramie to Casper. One of us would go to the airport, pick them up, bring them into their classes. They'd teach, and at 10 o'clock at night, we'd return them to the airport. And then they started picking up a leg where they dropped faculty in Casper. They'd go on to Sheridan. And then after 10 o'clock at night, pick everybody up and return them to Laramie. I would sometimes be the one that would drive back and forth to the airport, or we'd have a faculty member or someone ride every week. We had some faculty who would drive up once a week to teach. We had apartments that we had rented that they could stay in an apartment for a day or two. Some faculty would move up for 6 months. Well, they found that being away from the main campus, it allowed them some extra time to do their research and writing too. But then the outreach school developed a video conference system, which you would think of Zoom. It was very early Zoom. It was live. I don't know if they use it at all much anymore. It was still in use when I was here. We had a lot of our faculty who would do video conference courses so that UW had the network that would go to all the community colleges within the state, plus UW, and one faculty member could teach to students at all those various sites. Maggie Murdoch was one of the first faculty members that taught that way. And she taught an audio conference. She was always game to try anything. Well, it worked. It's hard to justify one faculty member teaching a class where you might only have 3 students on site, where if you go video, you can end up with 30 or more. $39.
Oh, right.
And, commencement was my big baby every year. I planned it. We worked hard after we got kicked out, with the visibility again. And we just couldn't get enough funding to do a lot of advertising. And we'd plot different things. Well, we could do this, we could do that. We had what we called howdy visits to Laramie. If you had to go to Laramie for a meeting, you would spend extra time in Laramie doing howdy visits, getting to know the people in Laramie, because visibility was a problem for us with the main campus as well. And, and over the years, faculty and staff became involved with more committees in Laramie, with staff senate, faculty senate, the registrar's office. It was very important to stay very close with the members of their staff, financial aid, student services. You just had to spread out and learn everything. It came from a lot of hard work, sleepless nights, sometimes just sitting around a table and scribbling on a piece of paper or a cocktail napkin, notes about where we could take it. We were always wondering, what will be our next step? How can we make this better for the students? We had hoped it would grow faster. So it was hard to not see that quick growth. And then it changes. The needs change within the community, which would change what we needed to do to make the right choices for the students. And it was like the firefighters here in town. They had a need for leadership classes. And, we found a way to do it. It took a while, and that became a real big program quickly. In 2016. Well, I think I stuck around long enough to get some of the kinks out of the new building.